Kristen Bell, welcome to the project and congrats on Queenpins. I had no idea I needed a couponing version of Goodfellas in my life, but here we are. Now, this is all based on a true story. Did you know the world of couponing was so cutthroat?
I mean, I guess I didn't know. I wasn't aware of the illegal activity sometimes in the world of couponing. I certainly wasn't aware of this story because it is a true story. These women laundered $40 million. But my grandmother was an extreme couponer, and we, as her family members, had to cut out from all of our soup cans and toothpastes and detergents and send them to her, and then she would, when she got 100 of them, would send them into the company and say, look what a valued customer I am, and the company would send her back like $5. And that is how she started me and my cousin's college tuition funds, basically.
Oh, wow. So have you continued the couponing tradition? I just can't imagine Kristen Bell lining up at Target with a 50% off coupon.
Why?
Well, I mean, there's no judgment.
Absolutely. Look, I am smart and frugal, so I don't see any problem with like really taking advantage of those Bed Bath & Beyond or Target coupons.
You know who gets rewarded?
People who don't follow the rules. It's time we start bending them a little.
Where did you get these?
In your household, who's more frugal? Is it yourself or your husband, Dax?
My husband and I both grew up in Detroit, Michigan, and we grew up in households that were sort of barely making ends meet with single moms, and we both have a penny pinching initiative inside of us, but we're fairly moderate with everything else.
Since meeting at a dinner party 14 years ago, Dax and Kristen's relationship has been one of the most popular in Hollywood.
Say your name, please.
Are you kidding? You want me to actually say my name? You wrote the role for me.
The actors have 2 kids, adopted about 1 billion animals,
All of my dogs and cats have been rescue animals.
and have racked up an impressive car collection.
Come on, Tony Ketchup! Dax is a co-host of America's Top Gear and a massive rev head. Did he swing by set to consult on any of these car scenes?
He didn't, but I definitely talked to him about the cars I was getting to drive, and he was like, you better rev it for me. You really better rev it. You better burn some rubber, and I did. But I will say, like, we're very into motorhoming, and one of the things we purchased to move our money is this, like, huge Prevost motorhome, and I, in the description, they were talking about all the features in the Prevost, and I was like, well, wait a minute. My husband is, like, very into Prevosts, and you're not talking at all about the chassis. Like, it's got the best chassis out there, so we need to add that. So I was, like, editing some of the car stuff just based on what I hear at home and what my husband respects.
Is it true that your motorhome, I've read, is called the Big Brown?
Yes, it is Big Brown, and yes, it is right outside my kitchen window.
The cast in Queenpins is phenomenal. You got Vince Vaughn, you got Kirby Howell-Baptiste, and one of my favourite newcomers, Paul Walter Hauser. What a gift he is to cinema.
It's almost indescribable how funny Paul Walter Hauser is. When you're casting anyone opposite Vince Vaughn, you're just sort of wishing them luck, right? Because Vince is one of the highest level improvisational comedians there is. Paul and Vince together, it was a beautiful comedic sparring match.
Who's the girl, Earl?
I think it's pretty clear that Earl doesn't know.
Call a sketch artist!
Call a sketch artist?
Yeah,
Like, who do you think she is? Kaiser Soze?
Starring alongside Vince Vaughn is one thing, but interviewing the Queen, Oprah Winfrey, on your podcast?
The whole experience was phenomenal, and when I talk about it, it sort of doesn't feel real, except it does because she made it very real. She is very grounded, and I was desperately trying to come up with a list of questions that a good interviewer would come up with, and all that was coming to mind was, do you like me and am I doing a good job? Because I just so badly wanted her to know that I loved her, but she is so good at what she does. And when she said our names, Monica and Kristen, we got so excited. She was like, well, Kristen, Monica, and then we both went like, oh!
Kristen, of course, I did some research before this interview, and I came across an article that when you were in Australia last, you spooned a kangaroo. Is that some kind of weird Daily Mail rumour, or did you actually spoon a kangaroo? Because it's not something we usually do here.
Guilty. I did it. She was laying on the ground, and they were like, you can go up to her, because that's not a normal thing, obviously. And I just laid behind her and stroked her belly, and she was so calm. She was very old.
Kristen, please come back to Australia, spoon another kangaroo, hug a koala, and thanks for joining us on the project.
Thank you.
Hey there, it's about time you finished that video. I contractually had to wait so I could tell you to subscribe. Subscribe. I'm waiting. Now I can go home. Woo!